Hey everyone, and welcome to Milo Game Reviews, where we review games both new and old on all platforms. My name is Milo, and if you like the content that I make, then please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a review when it comes out. Today we will talk about Garten of Banban 8 Anti-Devil, which was just released by the developers Euphoric Brothers. Garten of Banban is a long-running series that falls under the mascot horror genre. The first game that had this tag was the famous Five Nights at Freddy's, but those games were always quite limited in terms of gameplay until Security Breach. Now later you also got Poppy Playtime, which presented a mascot horror themed game in a first person perspective, and then we also had Garten of Banban, who released their first game for free as a little appetizer and then have released chapters afterward. Now I believe that in the beginning it only took a few months in between each chapter, but Garten of Banban 8 has been in the works for almost 1.5 years, and anticipation has been high because of it. And I can safely and happily say that it is by far the best entry yet in the series that honestly has gotten better and better over time. I hope to one day do a review of the earlier Banban games, but for now let's just focus on this most recent title. We play as a parent looking for our child and wake up in a prison after the conclusion of chapter 7. These first 10 to 15 minutes are absolutely awesome and have such good atmosphere. It's going for that prison escape aesthetic where the guards are bullies and you have to secretly talk to other prisoners in order to plan your escape. It is simple and short, but very effective. I loved the jazzy noir setting of the city in Chapter 7, and I'm happy that the developers continued that vibe in this opening. Then after the initial prison scene, you are back in familiar territory by exploring different facilities underneath the kindergarten. You will head to an abandoned clinic, a large warehouse, and even a mysterious village that has been built in the stomach of a giant creature. More so than previous entries, Garten of Banban 8 plays like an adventure game where the gameplay consists of exploring, talking to NPCs, and solving puzzles through environmental items. Where for example you need to help an alien villager to impress his crush by selecting matching outfits for him to wear. It is yet again simple, but it works since the highlight of the Banban games are its characters and atmosphere. The minigames, to me personally, always came on second place. And even though this game has more exploring and adventuring, you will still partake in minigames that are reminiscent of Twister, Memory, and more. These are often minigames that test your wit and your reflexes, and they're never too repetitive or outlasting their welcome. This time there is a big focus on color coding, as you will receive a device that can send out bolts of colored lightning. You will have to use a specific color in order to open doors or defeat bosses. In order to get some colors, you will have to find the specific color terminal so you can mix and match. It is a nice new addition to the Banban formula, and this time the drone is absent from the gameplay. But I think that is fine, since the drone gameplay has been played out for a bit. You will also meet a bunch of new characters, of which the most important one is Poster Boy Flumbo. He plays a big part in the lore and has direct connections to Banban himself, which was already hinted at in the prequel Garten of Banban 0. The voice acting for Flumbo is great, and there are some very nice scenes involving him, including an awesome fight sequence. In terms of voice acting, there are also plenty of YouTuber cameos in here, as we have also seen in the past games. You can hear YouTuber Dawko, 8-Bit Ryan, Super Horror Bro, and many more have funny little conversations, and in general, everyone sounds great. Previously, there were a few YouTube cameos where the microphone quality was obviously quite poor, but that was not the case this time. The boss fights and chase sequences are nicely paced too, and never too frustrating. I have explained this in other videos as well, but in many horror games, developers make the chase sequences too unforgiving by having the monster be very fast or not giving enough time in order to understand how to solve a quick little puzzle. That was never the case here, and the puzzles during the chase sequences themselves did have me raise an eyebrow for just a few seconds here and there before understanding what I had to do. There's a boss fight involving a fire-breathing cat monster, which was a little janky in terms of the mechanic that you had to do, but it did not die there once, and the hitbox there was very forgiving, so it never became too frustrating. All in all, Garten of Banban 8 is great, and the best chapter so far. I do hope that the Euphoric Brothers will continue with that jazzy atmosphere that they absolutely nailed in Chapter 7 and at the beginning of Chapter 8. Now, I don't think Chapter 8 is a great starting point, as many of the things that will happen will not make sense to you. Therefore, I would still recommend to start at Chapter 1 or 0 if you are new to this franchise. But know that the games only keep getting better as you play them. I hope that someday we might have a physical release including all of the chapters. But for now, Garten of Banban 8 gets an 8.5. It is absolutely amazing to see how far the series has come when you take a look at the very first chapter ever released. They are worlds apart, and you can also tell that the developers have gained experience throughout the years as we presented with new, better, and more varied gameplay. Now, Garten of Banban 8 is not the final chapter, and I cannot wait to see where this crazy journey will take us next.